Frontman. I'm the captain of this ship. I'm your point of focus. I am your guide. I'm here to captivate a little piece of your heart and ignite your imagination with what I have to offer. You see, myself and many others are part of this bold category of service called the Frontman. Frontman is a general term. Simply defined, it's someone who represents something and works to make that something more appealing to the people. The role of frontman is widespread in our world, and it comes in many flavors. For an example, the entrepreneur, frontman for his business. Or the pastor of a church, frontman for her congregation. In fact, I'm going to guess that all of you here today will at some time in your life play the role of frontman. And so, to promote ideas worth spreading, I'm here to teach you the art of the frontman. Many people are going to think that the successful frontman, entertainers, leaders, and speakers of this world simply have charisma, and that's what makes them effective. Well, allow me to share an additional perspective. Charisma is a style. It's a personal character style. As the French would say, a je ne sais quoi. And it's unique to each and every human on this planet. Well, I found that underneath charisma, what makes a successful frontman are the fulfillment of 3 responsibilities. These 3 responsibilities are the bones that give the structure and intelligence to your frontman prowess. So would you be interested in learning about these 3 responsibilities? Well, good. Well, before we dive in, let's get some semantics cleared up. The term frontman is not gender specific, but it's for all people. With that in mind, if front woman or front person suits your personal lens better, well then please use that. Now let's dive in. The 3 responsibilities, the art of the frontman. Number 1, responsibility to yourself. This means that you need to have an extensive breadth of knowledge in the field that you represent. You need to aim to master your craft. You in no way need to be the world's foremost expert, but you absolutely have to be able to hold your own. I'm a musician, and in my music community we have a saying, you need to shed. Shed is a shortened form of the word woodshedding, and it pretty much means that you need to get your butt in the practice room and do your homework. You need to set aside the time to learn for the pure sake of becoming more skilled. You see, when you have mastery over your craft, you gain self-reliance for problem solving and the creation of new ideas. Without self-reliance, you're basically an imposter. You're a puppet. You can talk the talk, but in no way can you walk the walk. Self-reliance builds your bridge to success when the eyes of the world are all focused on you. Let me tell you about a gentleman named Chris Voss. Chris Voss is this very cool guy. He's a former FBI hostage negotiator, and now the frontman for his business, Black Swan. He nailed this concept of shed I'm talking about. He says, prepare, prepare, prepare. Because when the pressure is on, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall to your highest level of preparation. Thank you, Mr. Voss. So people, if you want to be an effective frontman, hold responsibility to yourself. Keep shedding and master your craft. Number 2, responsibility to your team. Every frontman has a team. For me, it's my band. It's my drummer, my bassist, the guitar player, the pianist. I'm honored to be their frontman because it means that my team my band, trust me to lead and represent them. Every frontman must have a clear understanding of the strengths and the weaknesses within their team. A wise frontman is always going to arrange their team in a way that illuminates the strengths. For example, let's take a look at one of the greatest frontmen in music history, trumpeter Miles Davis. Miles would handpick members of his band for the strengths and the potential that he saw in them. His performances were always under his name, but openly featured a host of other very talented musicians. He would never micromanage, but allow each musician complete autonomy to play what came naturally for them. This created an environment of mutual respect. Excellence was absolutely expected, but the method of achieving that excellence was left to the natural brilliance of each musician. You're a savvy frontman when you respectfully use and showcase the talents within your team. And you know what? This takes humility, because at times you got to step aside and let your team take the spotlight. You got to let the band play. Miles would do that. He would simply walk to the side of the stage to give the full attention to his sidemen. Miles, the super musician he was, knew his power and could check his ego so his team would shine. Once Miles even said, "Someday, I'm gonna call me up on the phone, so when I answer, I can tell myself to shut up." Thanks, Miles. So what kind of teams are you gonna have if you encourage this same ethos of participation? Let's be real, folks. Our workplace and social environments have changed greatly over the last year and are going to continue to evolve in unexpected ways. So autonomy of our team members is paramount. So if you want to be a good frontman, hold responsibility to your team. Set them up to win by expecting excellence and allowing them to showcase your talent. Because you know what? Every member of your team has a superpower. And it's likely one that you don't have. Part 3, responsibility to your audience. Here lies the proof of your effectiveness as a frontman. Does your audience get it? There's no gray area here. It's either yes or no. Remember, the definition of frontman is someone who represents something and works to make something appeal to the people. So if the people don't get it, guess whose fault that is? The successful frontman takes ownership of results. This is a huge responsibility. And heck, your results might even hurt your feelings. But ownership of results is legit because when things go wrong, there is no one to be your scapegoat. There is no one to blame. You cannot play the victim. Ownership of results even embraces failure because failure is now your greatest teacher of where to improve. For me, ownership of results is empowering. It forces me to dig deep and lead the charge. I'm the front man. If I'm not getting the results that I want, I must change. Let me tell you about Jocko Willink. Jocko is the author of an insightful book called Extreme Ownership. And in this book, he reflects upon the leadership skills that he gained through his career as a Navy SEAL. I dig Jocko. He's big and articulate and super intimidating and all about extreme ownership of his results. In his true gritty style, Jocko says, "As a leader, there's no one else to blame. I don't make excuses. If I can't take ownership of problems, I can't solve them." Thank you, Jocko. You see, ownership of your results works for Jocko Willink as a naval commander. It works for me as a musician. I know it has to work for you. So people, if you want to be a successful frontman, hold responsibility to your audience by taking ownership of your results. Now, when a frontman has fulfilled all 3 of these responsibilities, there's a setup for what I call Frontman Magic. This is when a frontman's natural charisma is combined with the structure and backbone of the three responsibilities, and this unpredictable X factor is available. A possible transcendence or a magic could be seen. One of the greatest moments of Frontman Magic in my memory happened on February 4th, 2007. Super Bowl 41. Prince performed for a halftime show that I will never forget. You see, halftime shows are difficult to pull off in the first place. There's so many moving parts that go on to execute these brief, high-energy concerts. So at Super Bowl 41, rain had been falling all day. Inclement weather, electricity, slippery stages, not a good mix. This is true. Moments before the show was going to go on, the producers were actually considering canceling the live show and playing a pre-recorded rehearsal for all the viewers watching at home. They would rather be safe than sorry with a possible catastrophe on live TV. If you haven't seen this show, you really have to look it up for yourself. But since I'm an entertainer, ladies and gentlemen, lend me your ears as I poetically recount for you the most exciting 12 minutes of primetime television ever. Once upon a time in 2007, a football game and a frontman now in heaven. A rain-soaked Super Bowl never happened before or since. The halftime show, sponsored by Pepsi, featured the purple one, Prince. The downpour was heavy. No one was dry, yet Prince stepped forward with his band 100% live. His guitars wailed. The audience rejoiced. Did I mention that Prince's suit was turquoise? He played songs of his own and paid tribute with some covers. Even a marching band marched out, a bold, brassy band of sisters and brothers. Screams erupted. Is the audience in pain? Oh no, they're screams of delight. Prince is closing with Purple Rain. He threw his do-rag to the crowd, and then he slicked back his hair and asked, "Can I play this guitar?" Oh, like any of us would dare deny such a wonder. Prince, do. Prince, please do. That's when he threw his microphone to the floor and let the audience sing, "Woo, woo, woo." It was a show for the history books on a cymbal-shaped stage. The Colts won the Super Bowl, but this frontman took front page because a minute before downbeat, they thought the pre-recorded show would be smarter. But when Prince was asked to step down, he stepped up and said, "Can you make it rain harder?" This poem of mine is a true tale of the events that evening. Prince was able to roll with the unexpected challenges of that performance because he was self-reliant in his skills and had mastered his craft. His team was brilliant. Each one of them talented and specialized. They followed Prince and knew they were to do their absolute best because their frontman was leading the way. Prince had a combined worldwide audience that night of 144 million people, and I have no doubt that many of them were caught in this moment of transcendence, of magic, like I was when he threw his microphone to the wet floor at the end of Purple Rain. In that moment, it was like he surrendered his sword, and he looked to us to be the star. He made his music appeal to the people, the definition of frontman. Thank you, Prince. You have the charisma. Hold responsibility to yourself. Master your craft. Hold responsibility to your team. Showcase their talents. hold responsibility to your audience and take ownership of your results. This is the art of the frontman. My name is Michael Cartwright. Thank you.